Hey y'all, it's been a minute. So I just competed in the US Open of freestyle skateboarding, which for those unfamiliar is basically a flat ground skate competition with super crazy tricks. And it was a ton of fun. Everybody skated great, we got some sick footage, saw some old faces as well as new ones, and while it was technically a competition, it didn't really feel like it. It just felt like I was doing tricks I liked, listening to music I liked, while surrounded by people I liked. For some background, as soon as this event was announced, I was like, okay, I want to do that. But I had only been skating for about a year then, so I figured if I'm gonna compete, I need to get my act together. Like at the time, I could sometimes land basic tricks, and to me, skating was this thing I did like every now and again. But from there on, it was like, no, I need to get good at this. It's grind time. Originally, helmets weren't required, but they later became mandatory, so I thought, hey, I just got this GoPro from a friend, why not use it? I think the most unique part of my run was when I slipped out, my board flew under the fence, and I had to go get it. That was fun. As for trick selection, since I was still fairly new, I mainly stuck to beginner tricks, even if some of them admittedly weren't very pretty. And the ground was way more slippery than I was used to, so some lands didn't go as planned. I will say though, looking at my scorecard, I kinda already knew my run was fairly simple, but it was a humble reminder of my skill, seeing most of my tricks marked under very easy, so obviously I have plenty of room to improve. I also appreciate whoever was judging that wrote good recovery after I had to retrieve my board. The second run was alright, better than the first, and it was kind of funny because when the announcer said there were 15 seconds left, I was like, bro, I'm already done, like I finished. So I was just awkwardly pushing around doing random stuff to try and fill the time. And after both runs were over, I got to just sit, chill, and watch everyone else skate. And during this period, I couldn't help but ask myself, well, what comes next? Like with 2 runs, 90 seconds each, I'd spent the past 6 months training hours a day for something that lasted maybe about 3 minutes. So what now? I'll get into the answer later, because days following the event, I took my math final, packed my bags, and went to Japan. And while in Osaka, I got to visit the legendary Blue Skate Spot and meet some people there, including Yuzuki Kawasaki, Shu Morita, and their parents. It was a blast. Unfortunately, Kai Tanabe wasn't there, but they were kind enough to put me on a video call with her, and I tried my best to communicate with broken Japanese. Later on, we played a game of skate, and yeah, I lost. Funny thing, the last trick that Yuzuki pulled on me was a no-handed 50-50, which I couldn't do, but once the game was over, he and others actually started teaching me how to do it. And a few hours later, I landed the trick. By then, the sun was setting, we could see some fireworks going off from Tokyo, and they were nice enough to give me a ride to the station, so I wouldn't have to walk 20 minutes back. This was honestly one of the best days ever, and I was sad that the very next day I'd be flying back to the US. So here's some stuff I wrote in my notes before taking off. As it is, I'm looking out the plane window taking in my last view of Japan for the time being. In a way, it feels like I'm saying goodbye to Gravity Falls all over again, recalling how fun the trip had been. I don't want to go. There's so much left to do and so much left to see, but all good things must come to an end. As it turns out, while writing this and looking out the window, watching the country get smaller and smaller, I actually started crying. Something funny is that on the last full day I'd be here, I originally planned to visit someplace in addition to the skate spot, but since the places were so far apart, I only had enough time to do either that or skate with the freestylers. And considering what an amazing experience it was, I think choosing to skate was one of the best decisions I ever made. I'll definitely be back.
Oh, it's so bad.
So, back to the question, what comes next? Well, I think the answer is not just to learn new tricks and get better, but also to post videos, share my progress, and give back to the freestyle community. That way, more people see the art, learn what freestyle is, companies grow, and my new friends have something to see. So for now, I'm gonna try becoming an intermediate skater. See ya. Also, watching anime after coming back, dude, it's fucking wild. Like, sometimes I'll see where they are and I'm like, dude, I've been there. I've seen this with my own eyes. It's crazy. I love it. And coming to the US and being driven back from the airport, I was like, damn, I missed the public transport system.